Hello viewers, good day to you all. So today we have WASSCE 2016 number 6B, WAEC 2016 number 6B, and the question on it is still on set and Venn diagram. So very quickly we'll be running through this. Out of 95 travelers interviewed, 7 traveled by bus and train only, 3 by train and car only, and 8 traveled by all 3 means of transport. The number X of travelers who traveled by bus only was equal to the number who traveled by bus and car only. If 47 people traveled by bus and 30 by train, represent this information in a Venn diagram. Calculate the Roman figure 1 value of X, which is what we have here, and then Roman figure 2 number who traveled by at least 2 means of transportation. And like we always do, the first thing is to bring out all the parameters that are given in the question, and of course you know what representation we are supposed to use for each of them. We are going to let the people who traveled by bus to be B. Those who traveled by train, we'll let them to be T, and we'll let those who traveled by car, we'll let them to be what? To be C for identification. So we go for the total number of travelers that were interviewed. So number of travelers, total number of travelers, that's going to be, of course, the number of the universal set. The universal set is U, and there are 95 of them, as the total number of travelers altogether that were interviewed. Now, those who traveled by, the first one that was mentioned, 7 traveled by bus and train only. So those who traveled by bus and train only, that's going to be number of travelers who traveled by bus, intersection train, intersection car prime. That's bus and train only. There are 7 of them. And then the next one, 3 traveled by train and car only. Those who traveled by train, intersection, okay, so that it can be in this order: bus prime, intersection train, intersection car. There are 3 of them. So this is the representation for those who traveled by train and car only. And according to the question, there are 3 of them. 3 by train and car only. And then 8 traveled by all 3 means of transport. So those who traveled by bus and train and car all together, there are 8 of them. So 8 people traveled by all 3 means of transport. Now, the number X of travelers who traveled by bus only. So we need to get the representation for bus only. So that's going to be number of bus, intersection train prime, intersection car prime. Those are traveled by bus only. There are X of them. They are equal to the number who traveled by bus and car only. So we get the number that traveled by bus and car only. That's going to be bus, intersection train prime, intersection car. So those are bus and car only. And there are also what? X of them, according to the statement of the question. So the question now says again, if 47 people traveled by bus. So number that traveled by bus, this time around is not bus only, but bus. So number of people that traveled by bus, there are 47 of them. And 30 by train. So those that traveled by train, number of people that traveled by train, there are 30 of them. The question now says represent this information in a Venn diagram. That's question A. So we are through with all of those parameters. So question A says represent it on the Venn diagram. And of course, since there are 3 parameters there, or 3 different entities, that's the bus, the train, and the car, we are going to be having 3 circles in this Venn diagram. So the first circle is going to be for bus, because that's the first thing that was mentioned, the first means that was mentioned. The second one is the train, that's the second means of transportation. And then the third means of transportation used was what? By car, and that's going to be C. And of course, our rectangular enclosure, which represents the one for what? The universal set, comes in like this. Okay, So we have this. Now we'll start from the inside out, the innermost, like I always do. So those that travel by the 3 means of transportation, there are 8 of them. So 8 goes for the middle. Then we'll go for the 2-2, the 2-2 means of transportation. So how many travelers travel by bus and train only? Bus and train only. This is the position for it. So where is that? Is anyone for bus and train only? Yes, bus and train only. There are 7 of them. Bus intersection, train intersection, car prime. There are 7 of them. Those are traveled by bus and car only. This midpoint. Bus intersection car intersection train prime. There are X of them according to the parameters of the question. And those who travel by train and car only, that's bus prime intersection train intersection car. There are 3 of them. That's what we have. Then we have entered for the double means. So we are going for the single means now. So how many travelers travel by bus only? Was there a mention of those that travel by bus only? Of course, those that travel by bus only, they are equal to what? X. Because according to the question, it says the number X of travelers who traveled by bus only. So bus only, they are equal to what? They are equal to X according to the question. Now we are going for those that travel by train only. How do we get those that travel by train only? If you look at all the parameters that we have listed out, they were silent about those that travel by train only. So how do we get those that travel by train only? Now, but we were told in the question that those that travel by train generally, there are what? There are 30 of them according to this statement. And this other one also, those that travel by bus generally, there are 47 of them. Now, if you have the circle for train only, for train generally, the circle for train, there are what? They are supposed to be 30 in general. But out of this 30, it means that the whole of this circle is supposed to be 30. Now, out of this 30, this 7 has been cut off. This portion has been cut off, which is called what? 7. Then out of this same 30, this portion also has been cut off. And the portion that is cut off is what? Is 8. And then finally, out of this same 30, this portion has been cut off. This portion that is cut off is now what? Is 3. Now, if the totality is 30, remove 7, you'll be left with 23. And from that same 23, remove 8, you'll be left with what? 15. And from 15, remove 3, you'll be left with what? With 12. So it means that those that traveled by train only, there are 12 of them. Those that travel by train only, there are 12 of them. So that's how we get those that travel by train only. The next one is to move to those that travel by car only. Those that travel by car only. If you look at the question, they were silent about those that travel by car only. Not just that, they were silent about those that travel by car generally, just like we have for train and we have for bus. We were not having such for car. So car only, they were silent, and for car in general, they were silent. So what do? We let that to be equal to what? Y. We let that to be equal to Y. So once you set this up like this, you have actually gotten your Venn diagram out. Now for letter B, Roman figure 1, we have to calculate the value of X. And when you have Venn diagram or you are working on any question in mathematics, as much as you are writing things down, you have to be following them also with your mind. So this is what we have. So how do we get the value of X? Now, if you look at the question very well, X, or the 2 values of X, which is here and here, they all fall in the same circle. And the circle they fall into is the circle of what? Those that travel by what? Bus. So generally, number of travelers that travel by bus will be equal to the totality of everything that we have inside the circle. The first one here is X. The second one here, which is still inside the circle for bus, is also what? X. So we add them. Then plus the third one, which is 8, also inside that of X. And then plus the fourth one, which is what? 7. Everything, they are inside the what? The circle for what? For bus. And in total, the number for bus are what? 47, according to what we have here. So it means that 47 will be equals to X plus S is going to be 2X. 8 plus 7 is going to give us 15. So that's 2X plus 15. So what happens in that situation? If 15 crosses to come and make 47, it becomes minus 15. So we'll be having 47 minus 15 equals to 2X. Now 47 minus 15 is going to give us 32. So that tells us that 2x is actually equals to what? 32. So how do we make x in your formula? We divide both sides by 2. So x is equals to 32 divided by 2. And of course, x is equals to what? 16. So that is the solution to what? B Roman figure 1, which says calculate the value of x. And the second part of it says Roman figure 2, calculate the number who traveled by at least 2 means of transportation. So we are going to get the number that would have traveled by at least 2 means of transportation. This is where the aspect of logic comes in, and then interpretation of the language, the English language used in there. By at least 2 means of transportation, it means that those that travel by either 2 means of transportation or more than 2 means of transportation. That's what they mean by at least 2 means of transportation. And if we are going to get that out, so we say B Roman figure 2, number that traveled by at least 2 means, that now be equal to, or for us to get the number that traveled by at least 2 means. So that's going to be either 2 means, this, and this, or the 3 means of transportation. That's going to be what? X, which is bus and car only, plus 3, which is car and train only, plus 7, which is bus and train only, and then plus 8, which is those that travel by all 3 means of transportation. So in the place of x, what are we going to have? Having gotten the 1 over x, in the place of x, we just put what? 16. So that means 16 plus 3 plus 7 and plus 8. So 16 plus 3 is going to be 19. 19 plus 7 will be 26. And 26 plus 8 is going to give us what? 34. So by this question, the number who traveled by at least 2 means are what? They are 34. Of course, we can see that this y, we have not gotten the value of y. We could have gotten the value for y on our own. But because the question the question from what we have here, this WASSCE 2016, was silent on y. We were having to look for the value that the number that traveled by car only. It was silent on it, so we don't need to disturb ourselves looking for the value of y. So that is the solution to what? The question to WASSCE 2016, number 6B. I hope you enjoy it, and until I come your way again, please do look into this and have fun. Enjoy yourself with it. Peace out.